In the tech space, there's this constant argument of which phone is better than the other one, which smartphone manufacturing company makes better phones. Let's take a look at Infinix and TECNO, because I was part of this argument of whether TECNO was better than Infinix or Infinix was better than TECNO up until now. So in this video, I will share what I found out about Infinix and TECNO, so maybe you should also end this argument. So, to know which smartphone is better than the other one, quote unquote, let's take a look at their backgrounds. So, TECNO and Infinix, different brands, different companies, innit? Well, not necessarily. So, Infinix and TECNO are from the same company.
Impossible.
So Infinix and TECNO are both subsidiaries of Transsion Holdings, a China-based mobile phone manufacturing company. Now, as you'd expect with any smartphone, they both have backstories. So let's take a look at Transsion as a whole. Now, Transsion started off as TECNO Telecom Limited in the year 2006, but later rebranded to Transsion Holdings. So initially, Transsion started off with their sales in the southern part of Asia, but due to popular brands like Samsung and Nokia already dominating the market, they didn't find so much success. So as any other business-minded person would have done, they then started to look for greener pastures. Now, at the time, the African tech space was not as developed and not so many people had this interest in phones, not smartphones at the time, but generally phones, tech as a whole, people were not necessarily interested. But Transsion took the bold step of entering the African tech space. Of course, there were a couple of phones from Samsung, brands like Nokia at the time. So in the late stages of 2007 and 2008, they then took on the challenge of shifting their markets. So they decided to come to Africa. They did this by joining the Nigerian tech space. They started off by selling feature phones there, branded under TECNO. So TECNO has been their main brand for a good couple of years. Well, not good enough. From the beginning, they've been with TECNO as their main brand. So they entered the Nigerian tech space and started by selling these feature phones. A feature phone is, a basic phone, or just, a basic phone. Now, as they entered the Nigerian space in 2007 and 2008, they started selling phones, made some progress here, gained popularity, and beating every expectation. As of 2010, they had made so much money that they then decided to start building their network across Africa. So that's how they moved to Ethiopia, but they still had a base in Nigeria, but they went on and set a manufacturing plant in Ethiopia. Now, if this is not shocking enough, in just 2 years of operations, they had made enough money to make their own manufacturing plant. So that's how TECNO and Transsion kicked off. Kept on selling their feature phones. They were doing arguably fine. And as of 2010, they made it to the top 3 brands in Africa, which is just mind-blowing. They were only second to brands like Samsung and Nokia at the time. Of course, maybe Apple was there, I'm not so sure. Now, under just these 2 years of operation, they then started expanding their network, with their main point being Ethiopia, where they made a manufacturing plant. Now, it was time for them to, pull out the big guns, join the big boys. They decided to launch their first smartphone. Yeah, they decided to make a smartphone in the year 2012. This was a time when the tech space was buzzing with so many smartphones here, there, from brands like Samsung, Huawei, Apple, of course, leading the way with the iPhone revolution and all that. The marketing team at Transsion is extremely smart and was at the time as well. What they did is they took advantage of the fact that this was the first African smartphone, African-made smartphone that is. They took advantage of that and used it for their own benefit. So as the buzz grew, they didn't market it as we've made a smartphone, buy that. What they did is they marketed it as the first African-made smartphone. That way you capture a larger audience. You know, people want to see what you have to offer. This is the first African smartphone. What can we expect from it? And that's how it kicked off. So under the brand of TECNO, they launched the first smartphone and still marketed it as, you know, the first African smartphone. So many people now became interested. At the time, I remember I was in 7th grade and yeah, I heard about it. You know, the first African smartphone, yada this, but I was younger than I am today, so I didn't take so much interest, but I heard about it. So many people now gained interest, like, okay, so let's see what this smartphone has to offer. And TECNO boomed just like that. People now were interested. You're like, what's this African phone? What does it have to offer? So that's how they kicked off in the smartphone space, and they did extremely well. They made so many sales and they did well. Now, something smart that they also did is in 2013 they made competition against themselves. What they did is they acquired Infinix from a French mobile manufacturer called Sagim Wireless. I don't know why they would make competition against themselves, but I've seen this in so many brands, so many companies, like Trade Kings for instance. Let's take Wildcat and Reactor, different energy drinks but from the same company, and they act as competition against themselves, but by the end of the day the money still goes to the main company. That's the same thing that TECNO did, I think. But this was extremely smart because Infinix also did relatively well. And for statistics, as they steadily grew in 2017, Infinix had gained enough market shares in Egypt that had made it rise to 3rd place, just below Samsung and Huawei. Dude, this company is extremely smart. Transsion is a mastermind, and who would have expected that this tiny phone manufacturer would have gained enough money to then partner up with my favorite team, Manchester City? Yes, TECNO is an official partner of Manchester City, if you did not know. Transsion's smart marketing and smart moves in business, they deserve all the respect they can get. As of today, Infinix and TECNO are very, very popular smartphone brands here in Africa. And as if that's not enough, Transsion also have another brand, Itel, which they market as budget phones. But anyway, the purpose of this video is Infinix and TECNO. So this argument of saying Infinix is better than TECNO or TECNO is better than Infinix, I don't necessarily think it should continue, because the thing is, TECNO is the main brand of the company, so you'd expect more features in it, which, yes, arguably makes it a better phone, but in some cases, Infinix tends to perform better than TECNO, which I honestly don't know what they're going on with, but whatever it is that they're doing, it's working for them, and it's keeping this whole sense of monopoly going. So my verdict, which phone do I think is better? I titled this video "These Smart Smartphones" just so I should have a neutral position, because if I was to pick a phone, I'd definitely go with TECNO. Yes, I'm a fanboy, I like TECNO phones, so I'd say TECNO is a better phone. But I've heard people say that Infinix has a stronger build, which is true because my TECNO phone recently died, so I've moved over to Samsung. Also, let me know if you'd like to see a video of what's on my phone. I don't know, but I can make a video if you want to see it. Anyway, so I don't know which phone is better, but I hope this makes you see a couple of things. I think I will link a couple of videos from a couple of tech reviewers that I know that have done a tremendous job explaining the perks and the cons of these phones, just so that I don't have to stand in the way of hellomapesho have said that TECNO is better, so let me buy it. No, I don't want to stand there. But if you're buy TECNO, don't buy Infinix. I'm just saying. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Also, I'm genuinely curious. Leave a vote in the top right hand corner of this video. Tell me which phone you think is better, Infinix or TECNO. I'm curious. I just want to know which phone is better. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If this was your first time, consider subscribing, all that good stuff. More tech videos like this coming soon. Stay safe and yeah, bye.